DyShen is unbreakable, Dylan warns Miles Wei to stay away from Shen Yue. Before you dive into this emotional storm, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now because what you are about to read is not just drama, it is a breathtaking explosion of emotions that will keep you glued until the very last words. If you love intense fictional stories about Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, the next lines will shake you to your core, so subscribe now and do not miss any part of this journey. The world had seen many rumors about the DyShen couple, some quiet, some loud, but nothing compared to the wave that hit the internet when Miles Wei suddenly became involved. It was supposed to be another calm filming day, the sun warm, the sky clear, laughter floating around the set, but beneath the soft light, something darker moved. Whispers. Glances. Something stirring between the cast that no one could explain. Shen Yue was seated in the makeup tent, her soft hair falling around her shoulders as the stylists worked on her look. She looked calm on the surface, but inside she felt the shift in the atmosphere, a tension she could not name. Every now and then she glanced toward the entrance, hoping to see Dylan walk in, hoping to anchor herself with just one look from him. But instead, Miles Wei appeared. He entered the tent with his usual confidence, his step slow but firm, his eyes fixed on Shen Yue. The stylists froze for a moment, sensing something unusual in the air. Shen Yue sat up straight, her breath catching slightly. Miles approached her quietly, the space around them thinning as he moved closer. "Shen Yue," he said gently, "I need to speak with you." The tone of his voice sent a ripple of confusion through her. She hesitated before nodding slowly, her heart drumming softly beneath her ribs. The stylist stepped aside, giving them space. Miles stood before her, his expression unreadable. There was concern in his eyes, but there was also a strange determination, something deeper, something that Shen Yue did not fully understand. "I know people talk," he said quietly, "I know people exaggerate things. But I need you to know that I care about you. More than I should." Shen Yue froze. The words hung in the air like a heavy weight. She blinked slowly, her throat tightening. Miles continued, his voice soft. "I do not want to cause trouble, but I cannot keep pretending that I do not feel something for you." Her heartbeat pulsed unevenly. She felt her chest tighten as she tried to find the right words. Miles waited, his eyes locked on hers, his breath steady, his posture calm but intense. Before Shen Yue could respond, the curtain of the tent moved sharply. Dylan walked in. He stopped the moment he saw them standing close, their eyes locked in a tense and emotional silence. The entire tent seemed to hold its breath. Dylan's expression changed in an instant, the warmth in his eyes fading into something harder, sharper. Protective. Silent but fierce. Shen Yue swallowed. Miles took a small step back, but not enough to break the unspoken challenge in the air. Dylan stepped closer, slow, controlled, each movement carrying a quiet storm behind it. He did not shout. He did not accuse. He just stood there, tall and steady, his gaze fixed on Miles, a boundary drawn in the air between them. Miles cleared his throat, looking back at Dylan with a calm expression. "Dylan, we were just talking." Dylan took one more step forward, closing the distance. He was close enough now that the tension between them felt like heat rising off the ground. "Talking," he repeated quietly, his voice low but firm, "is not the problem. The problem is you standing too close to her." Shen Yue felt a shiver go through her. She had never heard Dylan speak this way, not even in heated moments. There was no anger, only certainty. A certainty that came from deep inside him. Miles lifted his chin slightly. "I am not trying to cause trouble." "Then stay away," Dylan said. It was not a threat. It was not loud. But it was final. Shen Yue looked between them, her chest tightening with emotion. For a moment, no one moved. Dylan's eyes held Miles in place, quiet but intense, like he was speaking things that words did not need to express. Miles looked back at him, his own emotions swirling beneath the surface. At last, Miles nodded slowly. "I understand," he said. Then he turned toward Shen Yue and spoke gently. "Take care of yourself." He walked out of the tent without looking back. The moment he left, the air loosened. Shen Yue let out a breath she had been holding. Dylan turned toward her, and the fire in his eyes softened instantly. "Are you all right?" he asked quietly. Shen Yue nodded, though her breath trembled. She looked up into his eyes, and in that single moment she understood the depth of his feelings, the weight he carried, the quiet way he protected the connection they shared. She stepped closer to him, her voice barely above a whisper. "You did not have to do that," she said softly. Dylan lifted a hand and gently brushed her hair back, the touch so tender that it made her eyes glisten. "I will always do it," he said. "For you, I will always protect what is ours." Shen Yue looked up at him, her heart melting. The silence between them grew warm again, soft and intimate. Their eyes locked, filled with 1,000 unspoken feelings. It was a moment that said more than any confession. Outside the tent, the wind blew softly, carrying the warmth of their connection into the open air. The truth was clear now. DyShen was not just a pair of names thrown together by fans. It was a bond, strong and steady, built on trust and silent emotion. Unbreakable. And the world, watching from the outside, felt it more powerfully than ever. After Dylan's warning, the air on set felt charged, almost electric. Miles Wei had left, but the tension lingered like a quiet storm. Shen Yue sat quietly, her heart still racing from the confrontation, and Dylan stood close by, a protective presence that seemed to shield her from every shadow. The crew whispered softly, not daring to break the moment, because everyone felt it, the unshakable bond between these two stars. That evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, Dylan walked Shen Yue to a quiet corner of the studio garden. The flowers swayed gently in the breeze, their colors soft under the fading light. Dylan turned to her, his eyes steady and full of unspoken emotion. Shen Yue looked up, a mixture of gratitude, relief, and awe shining in her gaze. "I will always protect us," he said softly. "Not just today, not just here, but always. You and I, we are stronger than anything, stronger than rumors, stronger than anyone trying to come between us." Shen Yue's lips trembled with a small smile. She reached out and held his hand, feeling the warmth and certainty in his touch. "I know," she whispered. "I've always felt it, even when no one else could see. We have each other, and that is enough." The night grew darker, but the warmth between them glowed brighter than any light on set. They walked side by side, their fingers brushing naturally, their steps in perfect rhythm. It was not a grand gesture, not a dramatic scene, but every fan who later saw behind-the-scenes photos or clips could feel the depth of their connection. Days passed, and the story of the confrontation with Miles Wei spread quietly among fans. But the DyShen couple did not respond publicly. They did not need to. Their silent strength, the small moments of closeness, the glances and gestures, spoke louder than any statement. Fans around the world celebrated, sharing clips, pictures, and messages of admiration for the couple whose love seemed untouchable. On the final day of filming, the director captured a simple but powerful scene. Dylan and Shen Yue stood together on the set balcony, looking out over the city lights. No words were spoken, yet the cameras caught the glow of their connection. The entire crew paused to watch, feeling the energy, the bond, the love that needed no explanation. It was clear now, to everyone present, to everyone watching online, that DyShen was unbreakable. As the cameras stopped rolling and the last light faded, Dylan gently held Shen Yue's hand. They walked off set together, side by side, a quiet promise in every step. Nothing could shake them, nothing could come between them, because what they had was real, unwavering, and felt by everyone who had the chance to witness it. DyShen was not just a couple, not just a story. They were a force, a connection, a silent romance that the world could feel, and that world would never forget. A love stronger than rumors. A bond that needed no words. A couple the whole world could feel. Unbreakable.